Now then, people, welcome to the Just Joe Football Show. This is the final word on Liverpool versus Leeds United. I'm going to have my man Kagey joining me a little bit earlier on, a little bit later on. He's going to be coming on. As you can see, I'm not in the best of moods. I can't lie. I'm not in the best of moods. My throat's hoarse as well, because one positive, that maybe a few, scraping the barrel. But the main one was the atmosphere. The atmosphere was electric today at Ellen Road. I can't lie. Like, it was spine-tingling marching on together before the game kicked off. I was expecting more from the Liverpool fans. I will say that much. But it was a great atmosphere. It really, really was a great atmosphere. It's a shame the performance didn't mirror that. Look, I wasn't overly optimistic before the game. You know, are we expected to beat Liverpool? No, we're not. They're the facts of it. I think, had we have got some results on the board, this wouldn't be as frustrating as it is. But the fact is that we currently have 2 points on the board. And really, the performances are not filling you with confidence. I think that's the main thing for me. The first 15 for me, we looked okay. Yeah, obviously Liverpool were heavily involved as well, but we looked like we were going to have a go. There's the chance for Rodrigo. Genuinely, when it fell to him, I'm thinking there's not maybe click from that position. Rafinha possibly, but I'm thinking it's a good player for that ball to drop to. And he hit it straight at Alisson. I think that was the only real test Alisson had. Maybe if that goes in, it's a different game. But listen, Liverpool were levels today. Props to them. Different gravy in the flesh as well. That's what we're back in the Premier League for as fans, to be able to see it in the flesh. I think, look, Junior Firpo got better in the second half, but there were times during that first half for me where Salah was he couldn't get close to him. You know what I mean? He couldn't get close to him. And although he did make some decent challenges, especially towards the back end of the half, in the first half, he knew he was in a game, and that's what you're coming up against, in it. Liverpool have started the season really well. Defensively, they're just amazing. I think, their goal as well, it was the curse of the fan kind of vibe, right? Trent Alexander-Arnold takes a corner. We're singing, "You're just a Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker. You're just a Kyle Walker." Moments later, he lays on the assist for Salah, and he's turning round to us laughing, going like this. And I thought, fair play. You know what I mean? But this is what happens with football, doesn't it? It was... Do you know what frustrated me most was Joel Matip? He's a great centre-back, technically great on the ball. I remember doing the preview, and Oscar said, Joel Matip and Van Dijk are better technically than the majority of our football squad. And the way Matip, did it on the edge of the box and then found Trent, and Trent picked out Salah getting his 100 goals. These are the players we're up against, I have to say that much. Yeah, I'm downbeat. Yeah, I'm disappointed. But, Liverpool are a fantastic side. If Sadio Mane could finish, they'd have been out of sight. I did that thing when I was frustrated, when he scored so late on, just as when I went. That's when I'd had enough at that point, you see. I went, right, I'm going for bus now. See you in a bit. You know what I mean? But yeah, he had a couple of chances, really, to be fair. Calvin Phillips, again, fantastic. Absolute baller. But the more and more this happens, the more and more that boy's got to be thinking, summer? European football, do you think? These are the facts, people, you know what I mean? I don't think Rafinha was at the races today. It was frustrating when that third went in to see him sat on the floor. He was sat on the floor, bit like, it gave me Pontus vibes after Derby. He literally just sat on the floor like this, sulking a little bit. But I guess he's that type of player. He was basically playing right back and right wing for a period of time, after obviously the changes that were made. No midfield again. I don't see the point in persisting with Rodrigo if you're then going to take him off at half-time every single game. What's the point? Just don't start him. Just don't start him for me. It's pointless. It's obviously not working, and I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. I hope I'm wrong. You know, I've seen someone make a good point on Twitter say we were all like this with Bamford, and look how that worked. But do we have enough time now? We're in the Premier League. Can't carry passengers. I'm not saying he's a passenger, because technically he's up there. But you've got to play him in his proper position. And if he's not good enough to get past Bamford, then he has to sit on the bench until he gets an opportunity to get past Bamford. You know what I mean? But in that position, it's just not working. I've seen a lot of people hammer Tyler. But Tyler, for me, again, this is just my opinion, Tyler gives me more than what Rodrigo does. He does when I see him come on the pitch. But again, he's still not to the level. We needed a midfielder, guys. We needed a midfielder. They're the facts. You know, and I'm going to say it. You seen my boy yesterday. You seen my man Conor Gallagher yesterday. That's what we missed. And people were telling me, he wasn't good enough. We shouldn't be improving someone else's player. Well, I tell you what, 2 points on the board, we'd have more than that. And I know I'm not saying he's the second coming, but we'd have had more points on the board, or we'd have been more competitive. At the minute, at times, we're not being competitive, really. I had in my mind, and I know it's blind, I was thinking, you know, we were the only team to not get beaten by the top six or Super Six last season. You know, we've only had one game at home. It was a draw against Everton, decent side. I think we'll be all right there. But today we were just outclassed, and it just wasn't good enough. And I now look at Newcastle. I'm looking ahead. Pascal Struijk, we'll get onto his red card in a second, and we'll get onto Craig Paulson, because he was an absolute joke. An absolute joke, by the way. But Pascal Struijk's going to be out for Newcastle. Should be rescinded, in my opinion. Son had a similar one rescinded, so hopefully it will get rescinded. Diego Llorente, best centre-back we have. He just can't stay fit. Gone. So what happens at Newcastle? Is Ayling going to... Because I don't think Koch will be back. Ayling's going to have to go in there. That means Jamie Shackleton's going to have to play right wing back. I mean, Radrizzani, who can forget? And I've seen him getting pelters on Twitter for it, and he should have kept his mouth lipped. Where's the new midfielder? Adam Forshaw. Guess where he is? He's injured again. Bielsa's confirmed he's injured. And do you know what? At half-time I was saying, Adam Forshaw would have been... We need someone of that ilk to just keep hold of the ball. Leeds United would go 1 pass, 2 pass, gone. 1 pass, 2 pass, gone. We couldn't keep it for long periods of time. And sometimes you need a Forshaw in there who... This is what I'm saying. When you watch... Like when people watch England and that, and you should be battering teams and they say Calvin or whatever, go sideways, or Henderson, sideways. But sometimes you need a player that will do that. And we need that in that Leeds United side for me. Someone who will retain possession. Because there is no midfield at present. And Calvin's having to do it on his own. And the fact that Andrea Radrizzani said that new midfield is Adam Forshaw, where is he now? He's on the treatment table. He's been on the treatment table for 2.5 years. Do you know what I mean? So you can't be going to fans on Twitter. If you want to keep that in-house, fair enough, but don't be going to fans on Twitter. The new midfielder is Adam Forshaw. Do you know what I mean? But let's talk about Craig Paulson. These refs this season are supposed to be letting things go. Early doors, none of that. He gave a yellow card to Liam Cooper. Look, I haven't watched it back. It looked like Sadio Mane initiated the contact, got round him, threw himself on the floor. There was a lot of that today, by the way. The Jota, I don't know if you guys seen it. There was a Jota one that you probably did see it on, but in the ground, he told Jota to get up. The players kicked off. He then brought it back for a free kick. Couldn't get my head around it. And then I'm hearing that Sky Sports, etc. was saying, Craig Paulson was always going to send Pascal Struijk off for this challenge. Yet he didn't blow for a foul in the game. So how was he always going to send him off when he didn't think it was a foul during the game? And the Athletic have heard from the Premier League that apparently he's been sent off due to the severity. But that's BS. because he's not made no malicious intent. It was a fantastic tackle. It was a fantastic tackle. Thoughts go to Harvey Elliott. Straight away, you know, you're in the ground, heat at the moment. He goes down. All the fans go, get up. Then we see Salah's reaction. Salah starts going like this and then walks away. So straight away, it stopped. All right, okay, this is serious now. You know? And I hope he's all right. And poor Pascal Struijk had to put something on Instagram saying, look, I never wanted to do it, you know, and he didn't mean it. And I think the red cards, it's a madness. It's not a red card. Because the facts are, I could push someone over 9 times, they'll be totally fine. 10th time, they might break their ankle. Do you know what I mean? And it's a total chance thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's not a red card. He's not set out to maliciously hurt him. It's crazy. Look, he didn't change the game. Let's be honest. Liverpool were always going to win that game. I did have a cheeky bet, Leeds 2-1, Salah to score first. So at half-time, I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to plan. It's going to plan. But we were never in that game, were we? Well, no, I tell a lie. I'm being too... I thought the first 15, 20 minutes we were okay, you know. I do. I thought we were competing. But then we went to pot. And look, the next run of games for Leeds United are very winnable. Very winnable. Bar West Ham, that's difficult, but it's at Elland Road. We've got Newcastle. We've got Watford in there. We've got Norwich in there. These are games we need to win. And then you can take a step back and say, all right, okay, 10 games in. We've got X amount of points. We're doing all right. But the win needs to come soon. Because you don't want no rot setting in. And if we don't beat Newcastle, then people will start to, oh no. Do you know what I mean? That's what because everyone's expecting, we'll beat Newcastle. I heard it today. We'll beat Newcastle. It's not a given, you know. It's not a given to go to St. James's Park. I know they're woeful, but you could argue on like our results. We've been woeful this season. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's expecting us to beat Newcastle, and I think it'll be a lot difficult. Yeah, I think it will be difficult to. McAllister says Newcastle is a 6-pointer. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, man. Don't worry about that. There's a long way to go. We've got some West Ham will hammer us now. Look, thoughts on Firpo? I'm not having the Alioski's better. I'm not having this chat. I've seen that, you know. We should have kept Alioski and all that sort of stuff. I'm not having that. It's taken a while to get used to. What you've got to remember as well, he hasn't played a lot of football, and then he's coming into a brand new team, a brand new system, and he's coming up against Mo Salah, who again I thought was fantastic today. Mohamed Smith, bloody Cooper again. Bullied. Right, where's your comment? Sorry, mate, it's gone up. I'll find it. Bullied by Virgil van Dijk all game in the air and turned by Mane for the last goal. A lot of people get turned by Mane. I'm not. Look, listen, you guys know that I do back Cooper, but you know there does come a time when he will be. I said this prior to the game. You know, I did my preview and said there's a phasing out process that will happen. Look, when Pascal came on, I thought Pascal was fantastic. By the way. That last-ditch challenge that he made, who I think it was on Mane, just came out of nowhere. It was at the South Stand end, you see. I'm in the cop and I'm seeing it, and then all of a sudden, boom, Struijk, King. I'm thinking, they've scored here. You know, and he just came out of nowhere. I thought it was fantastic. But I was saying before the game, it'd be interesting if Bielsa went with Llorente and Struijk, and then you think, right, the phasing out's happening. But Bielsa will always back Cooper in these big games. He does a lot that goes unnoticed in terms of experience and making sure the lads are where they're supposed to be and stuff. Silverback says we cannot pass the ball. It was 1-2 and then we'd lose it. 1-2 and then we'd lose it. I thought Calvin played really well. Meslier made some great saves. It could have been more if it weren't for Meslier. The red card, look, it's an absolute joke, but I don't think it changes the game. Too easy for Liverpool, really. Too easy, wasn't it? We gave it a go, but it's just sometimes not enough. Llorente now is going to be out. I don't know. I think, we'll get Kagey on in a second. We'll ask him. I think the red card might get rescinded, but if the Premier League or whatever are saying it's because of, well, listen, if that's now a thing, like, if that's now a thing, like any challenge could conceivably become a red if someone's ankle or someone breaks their leg. Of course, no one wants to see that. But that could happen by an innocuous challenge. Like I've said, we could both go up for a ball and you might like break your arm on the way down. And we're saying then, well, because that happened, you're now going to get a red card. I don't know. It's new right back, someone says. No. Sean, thoughts on Hillsborough? I was in the ground. I don't know what's being said on Twitter. There was no chance of that I heard, bro. No chance. Genuinely, there was nothing like that, bro. So I don't know if that's what's been said on Twitter or anything. I've not seen that. I've got in the car. I've watched a few of the highlights. I've come home. I've eaten my Sunday dinner after I've warmed it up, and now I'm jumping on here. But it's stuff like that. But I never heard anything like that in the ground. I think the only thing that I heard that I was a bit was you're just a soft scouse when Harvey Elliott was down, but that's certain sections of the fan base. I think a lot of them, when we realised it was serious, but that's certain football fans. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't think I heard anything other than that, mate, to be honest. So I don't know what's been happening there. Obviously, there was a Bamford chance as well. I didn't think he had that in his locker, you know. When he's dinked it from that distance, I'm like, what's the point in that? Alisson's just going to catch this, and then he tipped it over. Yeah, right, okay. Just so Xhaka says, calm down, we will be okay. I don't need to calm down. I don't think I'm up a height. I have not said we're not going to be okay. I do think we'll be okay. Yes, I understand where we were, but we can't constantly say that. Oh, well, where we were, we have to continue to progress. Otherwise, we're never going to. Do you know? And I know you say it's evolution, but if anything, for me, we're regressing. We've got worse. We're not as good as we were last season. That's just my thoughts. Yeah, but they're a fantastic side. They're a fantastic side, an unbelievable side, and they've started the season really well. They're always going to be difficult to beat with them two monsters at the back in Virgil van Dijk and Matip. I thought they were fantastic today. Yeah, we had no midfield. Salah was Salah. Harvey Elliott was doing bits until he got his injury. I mean, Trent's different gravy as well. It's quite funny now. I look back when we're saying you're just at Kyle Walker and he ends up putting in the assist. He took it really well. I think people were saying to Henderson as well, you're just a rubbish Calvin Phillips. He seemed to take it pretty well. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, for them that saying I'm drunk, yeah, I don't drink. I'm not drunk. I'm tired. I'm fed up. If that's coming across as drunk, then I don't know. Yeah, Sachs Glenn, Phillips is on his own in midfield. He is. No excuses today. Leeds were poor, Liverpool very good. No moaning about it. Yeah, exactly. But let's get Kagey in now. Let's get Kagey in. Let's see if he's still got his shades. I seen that. That was good, bro. I was like, what's he doing? He needed to talk. But let's hear from Kagey. Kagey, my man, how you doing? There you go. Look, there you go. The shades. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, man, all good. Good to be here, Joe. Nice to jump on with you, man, just to chop it up and see how you're doing after the game as well.
Yeah, it was not the best, was it, mate, if we're being honest?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's what you said there about people saying, look where we were 3 years ago, but you can't have that mentality. Because if you just carry on doing that, that's how you go back to where you were 3 years ago. And I'm sure those same kind of people that are saying where we were 3 years ago will be expecting Calvin Phillips and Rafinha to stay if the worst was to happen to us. So you can't have it each and every way, people. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with being concerned with our start because, yes, it's only 4 games and that's a very short sample size. But we played Burnley and Everton in those games, and I think we could have got a win out of one of those two at least. So now it makes that Newcastle game all that more important. And I do think we're going to beat Newcastle. I know what you're saying, Joe, but we've been bad, but for me, we've got more than Newcastle.
Yeah.
And unlike what happened to Firpo and Cooper and a lot of our players today, they don't have abundance of talent like that. No. So there is that to consider as well. And me and you have gone over this so many times, and the lack of midfielder, and you mentioned it at the start about Radrizzani saying the whole Forshaw thing. You said it yourself. I didn't even know he was injured today. I was asking on my stream to people, when are we going to see this guy then? Why didn't we have Shackleton in there for another midfielder? Because I don't know about you, Joe. I think that chance that where Matip goes through and sets up their first goal via Trent to Salah probably has less chance of it happening if we've got another central midfielder in there. It's 100%. Important. The Rodrigo central midfield thing, then swapping to Tyler is so. I've got to say, I'm so tired of it, Joe. Like, how many times can we keep doing that sub with little or no positive effect happening?
I know. You know? This is the thing. Like, you can tell that at half time, you knew Rodrigo's coming off. You know, what's the point? Giving them 45 minutes each. Change it up.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen, or maybe Harrison off for Dan James, but I think he always had it in his mind to bring on James at around 60, 70 minutes, because even with 10 men, that change still happened, didn't it? So,
but as well, what I want, and I said this in the game, as soon as Dan James came on, I forget who it was, I don't know if it was Cooper or whatever, they just put it straight in his channel and it went straight out of play. And I thought, please don't let this be the thing. Please don't let this be the thing where Dan James comes on and we just go, right, boom, in the channel, get after it. I don't think many balls actually found him, to be honest.
No, because there was also that bit as well when Firpo and James were trying to work, and then Firpo went this way, James went the other way, and it just broke down. So it's going to take a bit of time.
Yeah.
Especially when we're already behind with 10 men. It was just a bad one today. And
what do you think on the sending off, bro?
No, it wasn't a sending off.
No.
It was the injury was bad, no doubt about it. The injury is bad, but that's not a sending off.
No.
And I'm hoping that the club will appeal it, just like Tottenham did with Son versus Everton a few years ago. But what is the chance of it happening against Liverpool? You have to be honest here, because then you'll have all of Liverpool kicking up a fuss and, you don't know. You know what it's like over there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be worth appealing. But for me,
and if we don't, and he's out for 3 games, mate.
It's so, honestly, it's so unlucky. But what I said earlier on my stream, John, I don't know about you when you saw it. Klopp's going on to the field of play, yeah? And it's not just to look at Harvey Elliott, see how he's doing. He's in the referee's ear. Why isn't anybody from our team, our staff, going on the pitch saying, hey, move?
What are you doing?
Or more to the point, why isn't that referee saying, no, get off and give him a yellow card for entering the field of play? Because he's not looking after his player. He's there to tell the referee, you need to do something here.
Yeah.
And then what it is as well, the referee's probably remembering the whole Pickford Van Dijk thing last year and all the heat that referee's got. He's thinking, oh, I better do it now because I don't want all the Liverpool fans to come and moan at me. And it was a huge influence, but no one from our side went over and said, wait, move. Because that play, I thought it was a good tackle at first, and the referee didn't blow up. It wasn't until Salah and all the Liverpool bench got animated where they give anything. You see what I mean?
I don't know if you've seen...
Sorry, Joe, we're at home, but Liverpool still influenced the game. That can't be acceptable.
No, you're right. Because there was the Jota one. I don't know if this came across, but he was fouled just outside the box. But the referee told him to get up. Seen it with my own eyes. He told him to get up. The move broke down. The Liverpool players start gesticulating to him. And he blows up for a free kick. We were all like, what's going on? How can that happen? You can't say to someone, get up, and then be blowing. And to be honest, I just think this whole change of rule, the being more lenient, he weren't, man. It pissed me off, bro, really.
Yeah, and also, that somebody mentioned it on my stream earlier, and I forgot it, but Harvey Elliott handballed it. It was a straight handball, and it should have been blown up as a free kick. Just went fast. And you know how Bielsa doesn't like his players to moan to the referee? We had our players moan to the referee saying, hey, what's going on here? And then when I realized when he finally did give a free kick, the crowd just give it to him like, hey. Because it was ridiculous. But it's what I've said all along, Joe. A lot of these refs are too pally-pally with these big clubs. They need replacing. They need replacing with fresh blood that have no allegiances with these big clubs, because they all know him by name, by nickname. It's disgusting. So they're always going to get decisions like that, you know?
Yeah. Just on Silverback as well, saying it's called VAR, VAR, VAR. No, not in them scenarios, bro. Not in them scenarios where it was the game stops and they check it and all that sort of stuff. Not in that one. They don't do VAR for every single thing. Oh, you've missed that one. Quickly blow back up. He let the move go, bro. He let the move go. It broke down. Then he called it back after he told him to get back up. They don't work VAR that quick, mate. Yeah. That's when something, you know, there's a stopping play, like they checked for the offside, for example, for Fabinho's goal, wasn't it? What do you make to that as well, bro? Fabinho's got about six white shirts around him. And I've seen the replay. He was even able to bring it down, like touch. It wasn't just a toe punt. He like got into position and then put it in the back of the net. And I was like, that shouldn't be allowed to happen. Not when you've got that many bodies around you.
Yeah, listen, I said that on my stream. I said, I cannot believe this guy had so much time to like 1-2 touch in the box with so many people around him. And it just feeds into the narrative that we can't defend right now, Joe. And that is other people saying that we're crap at set pieces, we're a mess defensively, because right now we are. So we actually cannot go up to people and say, yeah, but the second half of last season we got better, because that's last season now. We need to get back to that this season. And it's funny you mentioned Cooper, because I didn't have a really big problem with Cooper today. He's always going to get outmatched against Liverpool. That's just fact. You know, he's not I should play Liverpool standard. But you mentioned organisation. He's there for organisation leadership. Well, if he is, then he's failing, because we're not organised, man. We're not. We're just not. And it's not just down to him. The whole midfield thing. We keep going on about. It's so important. No, we've got a giant hole. Calvin's doing again the work of 2-3 players.
Everything.
It's not going to work against teams like Liverpool. You know what we're saying? Teams like Liverpool. It didn't work against Burnley. No, it didn't work against Everton. So
yeah.
And that's the thing for me as well. The whole Forshaw thing. When we're going to see him, Shackleton, you know, and people are right to question some of the players. And listen, it's not about hating the players or anything like that. People, it's about evolution. It's about just slowly changing your team so it gets better. Otherwise, this is going to happen.
It's like, take Calvin, yeah, and people don't like to have this conversation, but like you said, if you stand still, the kid's going to move on. Can't tell me Liverpool, he'd be perfect Henderson replacement. They're not watching that today thinking, that lad there, he's on his own in there, doing what he done on his own.
Yeah. And the thing is, we wouldn't be able to say anything. When Calvin Phillips comes back in another top 4 shirt, applaud him, cheer him on, because he deserves it. We cannot say anything, and especially the people that love to say, as long as we finish 14th, 15th, we'll be all right. Because the 14th, 15th, we're losing Phillips, losing Rafinha, and possibly other players that other people are looking at. So, yeah, you just can't have it both ways. And I just don't understand that mentality where people think we can finish 15th and Calvin should be happy at staying here. His stock is so high, it's unbelievable. Declan Rice is being talked about a move to Man United next summer. Calvin Phillips will be also whispered in that same vein too.
Jody Sellers says he's not on his own. Dallas Player of the Year is next to him. He was not great today, wasn't Stuart Dallas? Not great at all, and that's not something you can say. And like you said, Player of the Year last season. I don't think, to be honest, I don't think many of them have been at the races at all. I think Ayling, there was one pass out when he moved into centre back, and I could tell. I was like, yo, that's not making it. That's not, and it was so obvious, and he just pickpocket. This is what I mean. It just was so frustrating today. We could not string anything together. Were you infused with that first 10, 15 minutes when the Rodrigo chance happened?
You see that? In the game? You see what we talk about, Joe, about, remember that list of they could be good, you know, the Costa, Roberts, etc. Rodrigo's on that list, Joe. He's moved, he's taken Costa's place because he had a lot of time with that chance. And if he puts that in, who knows what happens. But he could have put it low, could have like really drilled it, give Alisson something to do. He basically give him a soft pass back in the air. It was appalling, man. And then Roberts himself, when he came on, this is why I say Rodrigo, Tyler Roberts, it's like the same player. So we sub one, we get another, and it's literally the same player. Tyler Roberts has a header, difficult chance, okay. Then he tried to place one. Zero curl on it, Joe. But he went straighter than a dart at bullseye, you know what I mean? The thing went straight, man.
I'm behind that, yeah, and we were like, oh my God. And my mate on the way back in the car, he's going, have you watched the highlights? I'm like, yeah. And he went, show me that Tyler chance. I said, mate, didn't even make the highlights, bro. Do you know what I mean? He always tries that side foot, eh?
And that's the thing. That's the thing for me with Tyler. If he's not giving creative passes, which he can do, that's his biggest strength. Finishing is not it. And I'm sorry to say, there's a reason why he hardly plays for Wales. There's also a reason why Cooper hardly plays for Scotland. But this is for us to work on and get back and improve on over the coming years. Otherwise, we're standing still.
It's worrying, isn't it? It's worrying.
You can't be picked from a Premier League team, yeah, for nations like Wales and Scotland, with all due respect, and not be a starter. There's a reason why they're not. And as much as we love the promotion team, some of it's just not good enough. And I'm sorry to say, Joe, and I said it on mine. You know how much I love Llorente. We've got to put that guy in that injury prone list.
Yeah.
Every time, we don't know when he's going to break down.
This is the thing. It's like we did great business last summer. This is why we needed to go again. This is why we can't afford to stand still. This is why the club have said they've money there. If there's money there, spend it. If it meant, we heard from the Huddersfield Town owner that we made 4 bids for O'Brien. So we clearly wanted him, but weren't willing to pay. If you've made 4 bids, you want that lad. So just get it done, because we need it. I'm not saying, no, but I'm not just saying throw cash at it, but just hear me out, KG. It's like they're on about last season saying, we don't need to do that much because the players that we brought in last season didn't hardly play. So therefore, we're going to see them this season. Well, guess what? Llorente's out, Cox out. Who else? There's only Rafinha. There is only Rafinha out of everyone we've bought who's actually terrible. Yeah. All the rest, look, I love Llorente. He's different gravy, but he's always injured. He broke down again today.
Yeah. And that's it for me. But I will say, though, I will defend the club with the Lewis O'Brien thing, because, listen, you know as well as anybody what happens when you keep overpaying for players. If you don't think he's worth whatever they're asking for, that owner saying that they rejected 30 million for a guy who's got a year left. Yes, they can trigger another year. But if it comes up to 6 months and Huddersfield are in the playoff race and they trigger it, they're going to have a very frosty relationship. So he's basically got a year left and they're asking for 30 million. No chance. We're not going to mention Joe's man. I think he did already. We'll mention my man. Coop Miners went for 13 million. Okay. And he's not no Coop Miners. Not on any planet. So for me, I'm glad that they stuck to their evaluation with Lewis O'Brien. I am. But I do wish that they could have maybe looked at a loan deal for somebody else just to give us some help, man.
Yeah. No, we definitely need it in there, because there's a big... it's just the midfield, isn't it, man? That's where the problem lies for me. Because, like you say, Rodrigo and Roberts, they're both the same player, but often different things. So, like, Roberts will get hold of the ball, try, dribble a bit, all this sort of, whereas Rodrigo get the ball, pop it off, but if you could mash the two together, then it'd be perfect. But
I see all of that. Don't be dejected. But when you lose, I mean, we're at home, man. It should have counted for something. It doesn't mean that we have to win, but there's a way that you lose if you're going to lose, if you know what I mean. And that just wasn't it today. That first half was abysmal. After the first 10 minutes, they were having fun with us. Salah started to flick it about, and everything else like that at our place. You know what I mean? We can't have that. We can't allow that.
No.
So,
and you're allowed to be upset. This is the thing. Don't get it twisted. This is like straight after I've left my house at 11:30. I've got back in at 8:30. It's a long day. have gone. You're excited for the game. The game happens. The referee's a joke. You get put to the sword. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. But there's no... I'm not concerned, but all I'm saying is you're never too good to not be in trouble. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've seen that. We've seen that. And the win needs to come soon enough. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. And I'm with you as well. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. At this point today, I'm not concerned. I see, as always, on Twitter, the echo chamber, a lot of people saying, oh, my God, we're in trouble. I don't believe that one bit.
No.
But it would be nice just to get that victory. Well, Friday.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Well, you've got Newcastle, West Ham, Watford, Norwich.
Yeah.
What's your return?
At least 7 points.
Yeah.
At least 7 points.
9 would be good, right?
Nine would be excellent, obviously.
Yeah.
But for where we are now, 7 points would be beautiful.
You know, need to win at least 2, don't you? You need to win at least 2 of them.
Yeah, and if we can get anything against West Ham, that would be something, because they are a really good team. And unfortunately, Antonio will be back for that game. So he'll be hungry. Exactly. He'll be looking to do something. Oh, but Joe, I mentioned this as well. Because of our centre-back issues now, say Struijk is out and they don't appeal it. You got Llorente injured. Cock is injured. How about bringing Charlie Cresswell in against Newcastle alongside Liam Cooper? Instead of moving Ayling to centre-back.
But this is the thing he won't.
Fantasy booking. Would that be something you'd be comfortable with?
Yeah, why not, mate? He's a beast.
Yeah.
You know, when they come out before the game, people at Elm Road, like where I am, that's where the cones are. So you have the team, they do the shuttle runs up and down, and the other lads the subs just do the knocking it about. So there's like Somerville, Roberts, Dan James. They're just knocking it about. Man in the middle, Shackleton. Creswell's there. He towers over them all. He's a mountain. He's a mountain. So why not? Why not? And like you say, Newcastle, they don't have nowhere near the talent as Liverpool. Basically, they have St. Maximan, bro. They have St. Maximan.
Yeah, he has to do something. Callum Wilson has to be fit, because their midfield is pretty much like ours. They don't have nobody. At least we've got Calvin Phillips. They've got bloody Sean Longstaff and Shelby, all these dead ballers, man. So we don't need to be concerned about being overrun in midfield. And that's where I think that we will be successful. We need, you know me, I love Jack Harrison, but we need something from him now. Yeah. You know, I think he's I don't think he's been terrible, but maybe he needs to pick the ball a bit better, because his crossing's has been okay, but it just seems like he's just crossing it at will first time whenever. He needs to have a look up sometimes just to see where Bamford is at times and just make the cross a bit better. That's just my opinion, though.
They're literally, I'm just trying to think back. There was the Bamford one where he chipped it and Alisson tipped it over the net. There was the Rodrigo chance. Is there anything more than that? I can't even remember that many corners, bro, if I'm being honest. And when we did get them, like Rafinha didn't even beat the first man. And you're like, oh, you've got to beat the first man here, man. You know, it's really frustrating. Go on, mate. What did you make to Dan James when he came on? Not enough, man.
Not enough time just to see what he can do. And it's tough. 10 men against Liverpool when we're down. It's not really the best place to judge him. What I will say is, though, that Mane had more shots than us today, so I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah. And I said on Twitter, if he could finish, and people were saying he did score. Yeah, but if he could finish, it'd have been a lot more, though, let's be honest.
Joe, I don't know about you, but for me, today was worse than the 5-1 against Man United, just because the score was only 3-0. It's the fact that we was at home and we just got... They just had their way with us, man. If we want, if we want to be completely honest, they had their way with us today. And if they did have their shooting boots on, it could have been a massive, bro. It could have been crazy, the scoreline.
Well, the Mane one where it comes across the box and he's like 2 yards out. How has he not scored that, bro? There was
a few of those. There was a few that just whizzed past the post as well, very close ones.
Harvey Elliott as well, I think. Yeah,
Melier made a few good saves as well.
Wow, look at this. I did not know that, 30.
Was that what it was?
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's a lot, isn't it? I don't
Yeah.
know, mate. Something needs to change, though. Something definitely needs to change. I just think Bielsa is too set. He's too set. I can tell you now the lineup for next Friday.
Go ahead.
It'll be Meslier in goal. It'll be Shackleton at right back. It'll be Ayling at centre back alongside Cooper. It'll be Junior Firpo. It'll then be Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
In midfield, it'll be
Dallas.
And I still think I don't know if he might put Click and then Rodrigo, but then again, I think Rodrigo still starts, man. He still starts, bro, and it's like it's not working. I don't know. Rafinha, yeah. So I guess the only one of contention is in the middle of the park. Will it be Dallas and Rodrigo, or will it be Click and Rodrigo? I don't know.
I don't know if you saw it, but somebody on my stream who was at the game as well, they said that when Rodrigo was on the bench in the second half, that he had his like head in his hands, like he was just frustrated or something like that, just disappointed or whatever. I don't know if you guys noticed that from where you were.
I can't see it from where I am. Maybe they're next to, but he probably, mate, come on, he probably is.
Yeah.
He's probably grateful that he's getting the opportunities, but he's not. He's not a high 8. He's not a 10. He's not whatever position. You know, he's just not that. He's not a midfielder.
Yeah,
he's forward.
Yeah, I made the point. Whenever I've seen him play, he was always up front or just off the left, and obviously those positions aren't available to him right now. So he's just being plugged in the midfield. But yeah, I don't know.
So where Bielsa talks about him in press conferences and that, well, he's going to persist with this until it works. He'll persist with it until it works for me.
Yeah. I'm hoping that he just makes adjustments. Listen, everyone thought that Bielsa wouldn't change last season, and we clearly did in the second half of the season. We did because we weren't so fast to get forward. We were starting to get those cheap little free kicks that other teams usually get, even though those are probably going out the game now because of the leniency being gone, which is good. But hopefully he does see something and knows he has to make an adjustment, because surely he's got to know that he keeps making the same substitution and it don't work. So hopefully he does look at that, analyze that, and say, I'm going to do something different, even if it means starting Harrison on the left, James on the right, and Rafinha through the middle. What's the harm? Because I made the point as well on my stream that Rafinha tracks back better than Rodrigo and Roberts.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
You know, we have Rafinha in our own box today, almost blocking shots. That's terrible. You know.
Yeah, I say that, you know, for him as a right winger, there's not many right wingers that does what he does in terms of up and down that side at times, and down that side. But, you know, I seen someone make the point on Twitter, you know, and say, like, we should try him in there, Rafinha and stuff, but then we've still not got a proper midfielder. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it works better than the Rodrigo experiment, though, because that's definitely not. I think Rodrigo just needs to be benched. And when Bamford's not at it, he gets brought in. And if he gets ahead of Bamford, then fair enough. I genuinely feel that the club bought him as a striker.
Yeah.
There's no way for me.
I believe that too, Joe, because I think that they're probably just saying, well, listen, Bamford, because everyone loves to forget, everyone likes to rewrite the history, but Bamford was spotty in the Championship. He got 16 goals in that excellent team where you had other strikers in lower leagues, in the lower half of the tables, getting near 20. So that shows you just how many chances that guy was missing. So they bought Rodrigo as if Bamford doesn't do it, let's bring him in. Bamford's killed it in the Prem. He's still killing it now because he didn't get much of the ball today, Joe, but he was excellent with his movement today. Yeah. So it wasn't on Bamford.
No.
And now they've had to go, well, we've got this £27 million asset. We need to use him somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, so...
there's a lot of people mentioning, people asked me the question earlier on, what did you make Firpo, mate?
I don't think he was any worse than a lot of players. I know what you're saying, because I think London Leeds, you know, our guy on Twitter.
Yeah.
He was saying that Firpo was getting hammered. I didn't see it personally, but I can imagine so. But yes, the first half, Salah had his way with him. Salah was smiling, laughing, popping things off. but Firpo got better in the second half.
Yeah,
but
he
he was
did.
no worse than
He got closer to him, and he was actually taking the ball away from him. I think he gave to Gary called me. Gary from Talking Shut called me on the way back. He was not happy, as you can imagine, about Craig Paulson and stuff. And then we were just chatting, and he mentioned about Firpo, and he said, Firpo just give him too much space, and then he moved, and he did that second half. He moved closer, and to be fair, Salah, he did much better job on him. I think a lot of people because he's new in the side. I think, listen, and people say Alioski, etc. Alioski would have got tortured today, man. Yeah. People have short memories. People think Alioski was the top. He wasn't, man.
Joe, what you've got to remember now, because Alioski's gone, he's now in memory settings where he's being romanticized. Everything he did now was great. Yeah. Oh, Alioski, remember that against Newcastle, Alioski this. People romanticize once they're gone. Same thing we had with Becchio. Becchio wanted to leave, and people all of a sudden forget that. People have been treated worse than Becchio. When Becchio wanted to leave when he was on 19 goals, he wanted that move to Norwich, and just because it didn't work out, he started crying for Leeds again. You know what I mean? And now people forget all that. But that's what happens, man.
I hear. There's someone saying in the chat, I just want to pick this up because this is what it can frustrate me sometimes, because people, when they watch, and I hope that I don't give this vibe off because I try not to, but it says Leeds will be fine. Get a grip, guys. This is from a Liverpool fan, clearly. We're not for 1 second saying we won't be fine. Don't. I'm assuming he's a Liverpool fan. I did think he was Leeds until I pulled it up and I was like, he's got a Liverpool.
Well, it says Slayer and Liverpool, Joe.
Yeah, I didn't even read that, did I? I just read the comment. Leeds will be fine. Get a grip. So I was like, right, I need to sort this. We're not saying they're not fine, but you're allowed to, dissect the performance.
Well, Joe, let's try this then. We have just been battered at home. Doesn't matter if it's Liverpool, which was 3-0. You know what? What a great performance, guys. Everyone was on it. Everyone just gave everything. We couldn't have done any better. We was just amazing. We've got no wins so far. Let's all just drink that kumbaya juice. Love it. Come on, man. Please be realistic. And we're two people that are saying that we've got nothing to worry about, people.
Yeah.
But we've got to be honest about the game. There's nothing wrong with that.
Trust me, there are people out there that will actually be saying we're in a relegation fight and all this sort of stuff, and we're far from that. We're far from that. Nah. We'll be fine, man. We're gonna win. We're gonna beat Newcastle on Friday. I managed to get a ticket as well, so I'll be there. So I'm buzzing for that.
All right, nice.
And then obviously West Ham, that'll be a tough one. But then look, everybody, famous last words, everybody beats Norwich, so we'll be all right.
You know what I will say, Joe, because I am pretty confident we'll beat Newcastle. But if we don't, that game against West Ham, the home crowd is going to be on edge. We know what our crowd is like. By the way, we're a great crowd.
Yeah.
But when things are little like this, and there will be PTSD from previous championship seasons for people. There will be. Yeah. The crowd can get on a bit of an edge.
Let's not forget, KG. We were like in the top 10 last season, and people were still going.
Yeah,
Fulham could catch us. Fulham could catch us. They were like 20 points behind us, and people were going, "Oh, we need Fulham to get beat this weekend." It's like, there's about 6 places between us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember Oscar put a tweet out or something after we got beat by Ajax and in pre-season, and he said, "Has anyone checked the Fulham result?" They're gonna catch us. But listen, we'll be fine. Look, we're not in the relegation zone. I mean, if Burnley beat Everton tomorrow, then we will be in it. But so what, man? It's 4 games played.
It
doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's too. You've got to make that clear as well, Joe. It's too much of a small sample size. 4 games. That's way too small. Just like even if we won the first 4 games, doesn't mean we have to say we're going for Champions League.
Yeah, we're not Spurs. We're not Spurs, are we? The win free. Let's give props to Liverpool, though, mate. What can they do? They look serious, right? I know they've not done a lot of business. Harvey Elliott, thoughts go with him, but he was class. That centre-back partnership for me is just, how do you break it down, bro? It's rock hard, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for me, they're a bit light in other areas, but centre-back, they're fine. If Matip and Van Dijk go out, they've got Gomez and Konate. Yeah. That's options that is just top quality. But for me, the best player on the park today was Fabinho. And And it was interesting because, and I know I said this on my early stream, but for everyone that doesn't subscribe to me, somebody asked
Make sure
me,
you do subscribe, by the way, guys, as well. Kagey Vision.
somebody asked me on the preview that we had, would Liverpool miss their Brazilian players more than we would ours? And I said they will miss theirs more because it would be Alisson and Fabinho, whereas ours is Rafinha, and we can put Dan James in his place. And yes, it's a big blow, but at least it's only one. They'd be missing Alisson and Fabinho, and Fabinho was tremendous today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was running things in that midfield.
Yeah, no, it was. And I actually did say it would be more of a loss to us, mate. I did at the time. But it was, mate. You're right. It was different gravy. Seems that Henderson's lost his place both on the international stage and at club football as well.
Yeah, and it's amazing because when you speak to like I've got Liverpool fans, as you know, and I'm ignoring all of them today, and so they're all being left red. But they always talk about Henderson and this and that, and again, it's, you know what, it's got very, very similar parallels to our Liam Cooper. Oh, he's a great leader, he's a great this, but even Klopp realizes that Jordan Henderson isn't their best midfielder, and even when he does start, he gets subbed off quite a lot at like the 70-minute mark. So even though he's their club captain, Klopp doesn't see that he needs to play him every game. Yeah, but you know, there is that. Yeah, we need that sometimes.
Silverback says we made Liverpool look good. I think, mate, they made us look poor. I think. Do you know what I mean? There is a bit of both. I think they look really good, as I say. Diego Jota though wasn't really. I mean, from what I could see, he wasn't that much involved, or have I not? Have I misconstrued that? I just seen a lot of it. Mane was heavily involved, just couldn't finish his dinner. And Salah in the first half, like I say, he gave Firpo a bit of a torrid time, I felt.
Yeah, listen, people always act like I'm like I don't see anything bad with Rafinha, but Robertson had him today. Apart from that first 10-minute spell, Robertson had Rafinha on lock, so we have to say that as well. Unless you see anything different, of course, Joe.
No, I agree. Like I say, I think it was one of Rafinha's poorest games for a while, and when the third went in, he was sat down, bro.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have shown it, would it, in the thing? But it was like, you know, sulking a little bit. And I get, but this is what I'm saying to people about. He's coming off that pitch knowing he's up here levels wise, and the players around him ain't quite there. So when we're talking about, when you said about finishing 14th and that, he's not accepting that.
No.
He's not accepting that. Not when a Liverpool could come calling in the summer and he's thinking, well...
Yeah, and I will defend that, Joe, as well, because I want him to be sulking at 3-0 down. He should be. There's no way that... The problem that you've got is, well, you'll have some of the old boys, that's not Leeds, we would not do that. You need that because that's how you don't accept mediocrity. He wants more. He's demanding more because he wants to be one of the best players. He wants the team to be higher. If he's sulking, it's because he needs to be. He's obviously frustrated with how it's going. We haven't won in 4 games. And he wants better. There should be nobody criticizing that. You need that from your players.
See, I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, man. It's a bit
man. Joe, if you got all these people coming off the pitch and just smiling and everything...
No, I understand.
That's when I've got a problem.
Yeah.
Because you know what, I say that, and I you know me, I love Calvin Phillips, but we lost 5-1 to Man United. He was cheesing with the Man United players. Now it's because all of these people are friends. We didn't see this back in the day because there was no social media, but all these guys follow each other. When you see a footballer's post, it could be a Liverpool reserve left back. There'll be Calvin Phillips there. There'll be Junior Firpo. There'll be bloody Kylian Mbappe there. They all know each other, and I get that. But we've just been cheesed 5-1 by Man United, and there were smiles. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying don't get angry when somebody is getting frustrated that it's not going our way. What have we got to smile about in that way when we're losing so heavily at home?
No, I get it, because after the Man United game, Bruno Fernandes put a tweet up and Rafinha commented on his Instagram, and people were losing the shit over that, and I was like,
I don't mind that. I know what people are saying about that, but I don't mind all that stuff. They're all friends.
Yeah, no, so that's what I mean. No, I didn't get why people were losing the stuff. I said if it was Calvin, then you can have a conversation. Although, like you said, they're friends. That's up to them. But I think Rafinha just come to the country, played at Sporting with him. Very, very good friends, as in talking on the phone quite a lot.
They played together at Sporting. They were literally just at the international break with each other in the pool doing some heading exercises together. They're basically brothers, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why they're so close.
Yeah. So, got to win, mate. Got to win on Friday against Newcastle. Bang average side, 1 point on the table. I know we've only got 2.
Wait, Joe, this is breaking news here. Gail has said this Kagey talks some sense, you know. Do you know how big that is? Do you not remember all the grief she used to give me about the Hernandez stuff?
Yes, I do, Gail. Yeah.
Thank you, Gail. Oh, that's made my day.
I think it's a dude though.
Is it?
Yeah.
What did I just say? She? Oh well, Gail. Sorry, he, she.
No, because I've done it before,
good.
bro. I've done it before. Gail's always on. I think we need to check that. We need to fact check that. But I think
it don't matter what you are. The fact that you've given me that. Yeah, it's on news at 10, Nicholas. Yeah, because she always used to. Oops, I just done it again. They always used to give me grief about the Hernandez thing. But listen, I was right about that too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. What needs to change then, mate? Just while we look at it, like just briefly before we end up, please smash a like as well and make sure I have now put Kagey's link in the description. I always forget it, but as I mentioned his channel, I was like, oh, best quick over. I'll quickly put it on. I've put his link in his description. Make sure you check it in. Turns out I'm wrong again. So Gail is a female. There you go. I don't know what I'm talking about, bro. Ignore me. My bad. What needs to change, bro? Does Rodrigo need to come out? Do we need to just put Click and Dallas in there? That'll give us a little bit more in midfield as opposed to Rodrigo or Roberts. What happens at centre back for you? We need to win, don't we?
Yeah. What needs to change is just be more careful with the ball for a start. Let's do that first. The amount of times we got the ball and just lost it straight away, Joe, today. You know, Liverpool just having their fun. We need to be more sensible with the ball. Play the right ball and the final third a bit better because we need to give Bamford something to go off before he starts to get frustrated. Yeah. You know what Bamford's like, man. He capped himself in FPL. He wants goals. So
this is true.
Yeah. But it's true. We just need something better in the final third as well. Take a look up. Play that final ball when someone's making a move. Don't just whip it in blindly. That doesn't always work. And you know what? Maybe see what Dan James can offer us because we do need something different. It's been 4 games of pretty much the same. If we're being really honest, it's been 4 games of we've been all right, but and then obviously against the 2 juggernauts, you know, Man United, Liverpool, we're
not expected to get anything against them, are we? Really?
Oh, Joe, you know what I'm like with that free hit stuff. Don't give me that. You know what?
But what I'm saying,
I know what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? It's more the manner, like you say, like I. You know me, I was like, listen, we can win the game, you know, let's 2-1, all this sort of stuff. I think it's more a case of the manner of the defeats, although we're not expected to get anything. But that opening 15 that opening 15 minutes, if Liverpool win the game 2-0 and it goes like that for the full 90 minutes, I'm like, you know what? We gave it a go, but it's the manner. Man United, it's the manner of the defeat.
Yeah,
Liverpool, the manner of the defeat.
Yeah, that's
Everton and Burnley could have gone either way.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying because we had those 2 games where, okay, on paper we're not expected to win, but it was just a blowout. Both games were blowouts. If we're being honest, we got spanked in both. But the Burnley and Evertons are the ones where we should be looking to get 3 points because we're in that mix of the Everton, Leeds, Newcastle. You know, Palace are going to be better this season, as everyone can see, especially with Edouard starting in the next game as well. Time to get that dead Benteke out of here. And, you know, we've got to just be a bit careful that we don't drop from 9th to 12th, 13th, because that's not progression, unfortunately. And that's what Radrizzani's after too. People have got to understand this is not just us talking here, me and Joe. Radrizzani's got plans. He wants European football in time because he knows what the riches give you from that. So we just got to move a bit better. But I fully expect the team to be better against Newcastle, 100%.
100%. And this is a good friend of mine, someone I used to work with, Mark Brown, who is actually a Liverpool fan. He said, today you were playing Liverpool. Most teams will get beat by them, which is definite. They'll be up there challenging for the title in that top 4 for sure. And he makes a good point. These are our next games now. Sorry, Southampton in there as well. So we've got next up Newcastle, West Ham. I think Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. You know, this is where it starts for us, right? This is where we get some wins on the board. Hopefully, starting on Friday against Newcastle, put them to the sword. Nice 2-0 win or something like that. Just let's get some wins on the board, and then everyone can relax a little bit, eh?
Yeah, everyone needs to chill because unfortunately we're on here giving our voices, so we sound like we're panicking and everything else like that. But we're probably the least panicked out of everyone because I will let you know when I'm panicking. You will all know. Okay, the shades won't come off all stream when I'm panicking. All right, the shades will stay.
That was so funny, bro.
All right,
guys, if you haven't already, right, go check out Kagey. There was like a little pause. It was funny, man. It was funny. Little pause, shades on, and it was like, we need to have a conversation. I'm watching it, He's killing me. But listen, Kagey's link is in the description. We've done over an hour. Thank you all for joining us. We go again now, don't we? And it's a decent turnaround. You know, we play it, you know, it's Monday before we know it. We've got 4 days. Happy, man. Happy that it's going to come so quick. And let's give the Geordies some more misery because they hate their club and what's going on at this moment in time. So let's go up there and get some points on the board. But thank you, as always, for watching. Smash a like on the video. Hit the notification bell, subscribe, all that jazz. And make sure you subscribe to Kagey's channel. Recently at 2K. Needs to be up there. Needs to continue to grow. His link is in the description, so make sure you do that, all right? And anything else, Kagey?
No, onwards and upwards for us. We'll get there in the next game, people. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And if not, then we'll have this chat again and we'll see where we're at. But peace out, folks. Nice one.